Hey, thanks for coming back. This is Keith, KG's Garage. We're working on the 76 GMC Motorhome, doing the rear Quadrabag setup. I'm going to show you a preview of what it's going to look like. There you go. Only thing left on here to do is put the side skirt on, but this is done. This side's done. The other side I'm still doing. Actually, I haven't started. So I'm going to show you what I did to get to that point. First step is I jack it up. I jacked it up in the middle here. Underneath here there's a flat spot. Jacked it up in the middle. And then you put the jack, your jack stand, in between these two bolts here. It's double framed right there, so it's strong enough. And then you come in the front. And you go over here, right in front of the wheel. It's double framed over here also, so it's strong enough to hold it. Right now you can see the wheels are not off the ground. I got the other side up off the ground, and these sides are drooping down, so I have to lift it up a little bit more, maybe go another notch on the jack to get these off the ground. I'm going to pull the wheels off, pull the side skirt off. The side skirt, you might have some weird bolts here. This is here is a screw, and then there's some, I don't know, some bolt here, bolt over here, and then I don't know what the heck, this thing is just some random screws is stuck in there. So I'll probably get something when I go put it back on and have all the same screws. And then when you do the Quadrabag setup, you have to modify the lower support, and I'll show you that in a minute when I get there. But let me get the wheels off and skirt and start taking everything off. Alright, I'm going to take off this skirt right here. So, bottom bolts, 7/16. Well, it's gone too tight, a little crusty. There we go. One little bolt. One on this side. Oh. So that one broke. It's the first broken bolt. So if this happens and the bolt breaks off inside, take yourself a little screwdriver, put it here, and you bang it. Usually I bang it on the ground, but you won't see that, so I'm just going to bang it right here. Popped right out. So those two are garbage. And it's a Phillips head here. It's not doing anything. There's a flathead screw over here. Let's see if this comes off. Oh, it feels like the whole clip. It's one of those clips that go on here. It feels like the whole clip's spinning. So I'm going to have to get some vice grips and put it on here so I can take this off. I'm going to also get a bigger screwdriver. You know what? Change of plans. I'm just going to cut it. There we go. Yeah, with this plastic clip. Oh, and this actually just broke out of the plastic. It's still there. Up here, you can see, oh, it's a Firestone bag. Totally deflated bag. I don't know, it's just all dry rotted. I don't know where. I thought I saw a rip in it. Maybe this is the rip I saw. But anyway, this has come off. These airbags are really easy to come off. there's a bolt here. There's a bolt here. That takes this whole thing out. And then this plastic line right here comes off. You just unscrew right there, pull the line out. I'm trying to get some of the paint off there. So oh, and then this bracket. So you see the bolt, this bolt here stayed in there. I'll clean it up, I'll get the new hardware. And you have to modify this. I'll show you how to modify this. And I need to somehow get this bolt out. On the other side it broke, so we'll see. Okay, so this bolt right here that holds this on is a 9/16. This happened on the other side too. Try to take it off. I use my 1/2-inch bar, 9/16 on it. It started to go and it snapped. So what can you do? So it's broke off in there. The other side, same thing happened. Now I'm going to have to drill it out and tap it, but as soon as I get this airbag off, I'm going to do that. I need to clean these off here. These are the bogey pin bolts, because these big nuts right here, these have to come off. And this, so all you do is take these off, 1 1/8". Put it on there. That's easy. Wow, the other side was loose. I mean, I didn't even touch it. It was loose. So now when these come off, the arms will drop a little bit, but the shocks will hold it from going all the way down. There we go. Big bolt. And I got a big nut. So I took this off over here, this line. So now I just take this and there you go. Now if you were going to replace your bag, if you have a single bag like this, you just get your new bag and slap it in there, 2 bolts and a airline, and you're done. You may notice on here, this has a valve. This was, and it also has a Schrader right here. So you can fill this up, the airbag up, independently from the system. So you can fill it up to what height you want, and then close this valve, and the air won't come out. You're isolating just the bag. So that's a good feature. I liked the previous owner did on this. The new airbags have the same thing. You'll see there's a bunch of different valves, and you can turn the air off to all of them, to one or the other. It's a pretty good system. So this you don't need anymore. And yeah, it's got marks all in it. So this thing is not being used anymore. Now I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just drill and tap this right now. There's nothing in the way here. I can get a straight shot. Once I start putting pieces on, it's going to be hard to get in here. So I'm going to do this right now. So I'm going to grind this down a little bit so I can get a spot where I can get a drill in there and drill it. This here is a carbide bit. Probably don't need a carbide bit to go through here, but let's see how it works. Now it's kind of walking a little bit. Maybe I should have used a smaller bit to start with. This is a cobalt bit. Keeps slipping off the bolt and going into the steel. Alright, I used a combination of these small bits to get a nice little hole to go in there. And I use this carbide bit and drilled straight down, boom, done. That bit goes right through the metal like it's nothing. now what I have to do is I have to go get the tap, and I have to tap it for a bolt. All right, I'm going to tap it for a 3/8 16 bolt. Here's the bolt I'm going to use, grade 8. Well, there's not any threads on the top. Once it gets down further, there's threads. You can see. Because it got wallowed out at the top here. But there you go, that screws in now. Alright, now we can continue. I'm going to take these bolts off here. I didn't have this size. It's a 1 7/16 socket. I had to go buy this. And it's for an 1-inch wrench. There you go. You might think you're going to put an 1.5 on there. Doesn't fit. When you start whaling on this thing, I don't know what this has been on here for 40, almost 50 years. And you start whaling on it, plus, so this is a 12 point. This is not going to work. This will strip. You'll wind up stripping out your nut. Then I have this one here, same 1.5. I use this on the front. That's why I bought these guys. Again with a 1 inch. Don't use it. Go to the store before you start the project and get an 1 7/16. Alright, so that's there. It's on like 1,000,000 foot-pounds. I'm going to see if I can get it off by just maybe standing on it. Oh, got it. Alright, it's not bad, so I got it from standing on it. So that'll come off. Now let's try this one. Oh, well, that one came off too. I'm going to try something. I have a 1 to 1/2 inch adapter. And I'm going to put it on the impact. Almost got it. Oh my gosh, it's very... At the end here, it's kind of tough. Okay, and there's a washer there. Let's get this side off. Okay, so once you get these nuts off, you just toss them or put them in your save pile because you don't need them anymore. The kit gives you new nuts to go on here. Okay, the kit gives you 2 new nuts to go on here. Actually, we have 4 nuts. 2 to go on here to tighten this, and then another 2 for the bracket that you'll see in a minute. The next step after I got all this off, airbags, airline, right? There's these bolts right here. There's 4 bolts. One here, there's one below it. One here, one below it. You have to go on, it's a nut and a bolt. So there's a bolt on the other side of the frame, comes through, and there's a nut on this side. So you have to hold the other side and loosen this nut up. So you can see here, there's not much space here. So actually I'm going to put a wrench on here and turn with a socket on the other side. But I don't want to call in dirt, so I'm going to go sweep this out of the way. And you take those 4 out and they give you replacement bolts to put in there that are a little bit longer. It's longer so you can attach the bracket that I'm going to show you in a minute. Also, it comes with pretty detailed instructions guy Bill Brown did a write-up on the Quadrabag setup, and there are his instructions. Tells you everything, what's supposed to come with it, blah blah blah. Pretty detailed. And then you have instructions from Applied and Co-op Motorworks, just text, you know, do this, do this, do this, and then all the way through. It's only 21 steps. So this, I think they changed that because there's no other steps. There's only one way to put that in. I'll show you that in a minute too. So you see that's what it's going to look like. I'll show you the parts. So here are the parts. This piece, those 4 bolts I showed you that have to be pulled off, that you can't get to the nut, go right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You take that out. Here's the bag of bolts. They don't supply the bag. At least in mine they didn't. Here they are right here. So here's the 4. They give you a bunch of washers, but on the one side I already did. I didn't use any washers. I had to do is take these on off a bunch of times, and I didn't use any of the washers. It was a pain in the neck. It's hard to line this up when it's on the trying to get in the, this thing weighs a good amount. Trying to get that in there, and anyway, it was a pain. Also, I had to grind the other one down. We'll see if I have to grind this one down. I had to take a chunk out right here. We'll see what happens. So yeah, so here's the nuts and bolts. If the bolt comes out and it hits the arm, you need to put washers on this side, so it spaces it out. You don't want the bolt to hit the arm, so that's why the spacers are there, the washers are there. I tried using at least just one washer when it went through the frame, but that was still too many. It was still too thick. Anyway, so then you have these special machined nuts go in the bogey pins. So it looks like it's this nut just shaved down, kind of, right? And the reason for that is this is the front piece. You can see here it's got a little indentation. So this is the front piece that would go like, that goes on the front like this, and that indent, the washer, the bolt goes in there. So this would be on the bogey pin, and this will go in there. So you have a flat surface here. Okay. And then once you get this thing on, you mount the airbags. There's some Allen keys screws. They go here, screw into there, and your airbag, those 2 holes, goes on like that. Boink. Okay. And then you have 4 holes. So let me do this. So basically, it's like this. It's like this in the RV. And these 4 bolt holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Line up with these 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lines up like that. And that's what supports your airbags. Will be on either side of this thing. So that's how it goes. And I painted them. You can get them in coated, zinc coated. I opted to get mine painted. Shipping all the way from California, they got a little scraped up and buffed and banged around, so I painted them again. I just took some Rust-Oleum, sprayed the heck out of it, and then once I put them on, I sprayed it. I'm going to spray them again, any little chips and stuff that happens. Oh, and then these pieces go on the other side of the airbag, like this side, where the air, oopsie, where the air hole is. Whichever way. That screws on. Oh. Yeah, that screws on. They give you some hardware somewhere here. Probably these guys. Screw it on, and then this is how it goes onto the arm. You'll see that. Put this on the arm, put the bolt on there. So that's all the parts. Let's go put these guys on. I can't remember, in the book, in the instructions it tells you how many foot-pounds, so I'm gonna get so I have this here. I also do have a torch wrench, but I'm kind of liking this thing. You just put it in between. Get your half-inch drive, turn on, hit it on foot-pounds, and turn it, and it beeps. Cool. All right, let's go put this on. Okay, so I got these special bolts on there. I got this here, it's supposed to be 20 to 25 foot-pounds. Let's see where we're at. Oh, it's good enough. It's good. It's like 40-ish. Oh, it's hard to keep this on there. What are you doing? Alright, it's actually 35. So we're good. I don't know what size this nut is, but 1.5 inches is too big, and the 1 7/16 doesn't fit. I mean, I guess I could bang it on. It must be metric. I think that's the only thing I can think of. Anyway, it's on. I'm able to put it on. This is 25. I think this goes 25, and then when you put the other nut on with that bracket, that's when you crank it down. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grease these bogey pins before I put it all back together, but it's going to be later on. So next is I need to clean up the floor here. I need to go underneath and get these 4 bolts out. Put the new bolts in, bracket on top. You also have to clean the area behind where these bolts are. You want all this to be nice and clean, so you have to get the bolts out. Oh, the other thing, you want to support this. You want to support this piece. Once you take all 4 of these bolts out that hold it to the frame, there's 2 on the bottom that hold it up, but it's a lot of weight. I don't know how much it weighs. It's a lot of weight. So I'm just going to get a jack. Just put the jack under here, and just to hold it, just to support it while I take all those bolts out. What I'll probably do is get them loose, and when I go to pull them out, then put the jack under there, because otherwise the jack's in the way when I'm trying to go in and out. Anyway, all right, here's the fun part. I just swept underneath here. Now I get to lay down underneath here, try to get these bolts off. They're 3/4 inch. I might try to do is see if I can loosen these up first. See if I can get them loose. The ones on the bottom you can get to right here. It's not too bad. But let me see if I can get them loose a little bit. Maybe I'll get lucky and they'll spin and I can get the nuts off. And then I don't have to climb underneath there. Let's try it. Alright, well, I hit these bottom ones with the impact hammer. I was able to get this one off. Right here, that's it. But let me show you what work went under here. You can see there's the bolt right here. There's one below it. There's one below it right there. And there's 2 on the other side with those beam. I need to get those off. Get those off and out. This side's easier because the other side, turn the camera, I'll show you over here. You can see the new bolt. See that new bolt right there? The exhaust is right there. So the bottom ones were okay to get to. The top one, I don't know if you can see the top one. Yeah, top one's right there. but you just have to work around the exhaust. I don't know what size exhaust it is. I'm guessing it looks like about maybe 2.5. People said if you have a 3-inch, that causes a lot of problems because, you know, there's a bigger pipe there. So that side was a little bit more of a pain, I think, with that pipe in the way. But on this side, I mean, you have this stuff on this side too. Like this is. I mean, you have, I don't know what this, that's some solid pipe here, and then you have some other lines, and then this line, I don't know, oh, there's a red power line, looks like, it goes through this way. So there's other stuff in the way on this side. I've actually never laid down on here on this side, looked at this stuff. Now it looks like fuel lines. I think this is the fuel line. Take those bolts, I'm going to get the impact, put it on there, on those bolts, and have a wrench on the other side like I have here, and get these bolts off. Alright, let me show you what I got the 4 nuts off. One bolt came out. You can see it right there. I'm just going to get a punch. I'm going to support this, get a punch, and just punch the other ones out. You can see there's a shim there. You want to keep that shim there. That's for alignment of these arms of this whole bogie setup. You know, this way or that way. Same, there's another shim on the other side. And there. These are the tools that I usually use. Mixture of all this. This seemed to work pretty good. 1/2 inch, 3/4 socket on here with the adapter to 1 inch. Jam this inch on the other side like that against the frame. Then I just used the wrench on the nut, and I actually hammered it just with whatever pound sledge that is. Doesn't matter. And I just banged it, take it off, bang it. I mean, it's tedious, but I got all the nuts off. This nut here, I was able to get the impact in there and turn the whole bolt. So I had the wrenches were on this side the whole time. Well, actually this one here I was able to get with the impact also. But mostly wrenches on the outside. If that was stuck, I would have used a wrench on the outside. And then I used the impact on the top guy and backed it out. I tried using impact on the other ones. They were too tight and they wouldn't come off. To put them on, I'll probably use the impact. All I do is just put the bolts through the hole, get the nut on, hold the nut, and then I'll just turn this to bolt. Now I have to figure out the washer situation. So there's one washer here, and there was one washer on the outside. And like I said, on the other side, I didn't use any washers. So let's see what I have to do here. Real quick. So one thing you need to do is, see all that years of gook right there? This surface has to be flat. So you need to get the bolts off. At least get maybe the top one off to get a good, to be able to clean this nicely. So what I have is this scraper, and I'll just take it and I'll just scrape down there. But you need the bolt to be out of the way. Oh wow, it's really caked on there. So I might just have to tap it, the hammer or something. But it's, that other bolt is going to get in my way. But look at all the junk that's coming off. So you need this to be smooth because that bracket is going to go against this. That back bracket goes down here, and this needs to be a smooth area. Look at this. This bolt is ready to come out. I'm trying to push it in. There we go. Get it out of the way, and I can clean this. So anyway, I'm going to clean this. I'll probably push the other bolt. I'm going to get the jack, stick it on here, so this thing doesn't move at all. And then push the new bolts and nuts on, and get the bracket on. Actually, you have to do the bracket and then push the bolts in there. But first, let me clean all this. I'll get the bracket, and got to figure out how many washers to put where. So I'm sitting underneath the motorhome right now, and I just wanted to show you. Here's the 2 other bolts that hold the bogie assembly on. Goes on the bottom of the frame. There's a bolt or sorry, there's a nut, and then a bolt goes through it. You got the frame, and another frame. So that's weird. I'm having a time trying to get this one bolt out. It looks like it's rusted in. I got all the other three out. It's just this one is being a pain. I have it on this big inch breaker bar, and I can't move it. So I'm gonna keep working on it. It's just the last one to get out. So if you look where the bolts were, the nuts, there's a little indentation there where the washer would sit. Oh, on the new brackets, on the back here, they have washers actually welded on, so you don't need to fit a washer in between this. That would be a big pain in the neck, getting a washer in between this and the frame. So I'm glad they did that, so the washer's already there. So I had the problem, I can't get that one bolt out. I hammered it. This guy right here. I hammered it, and I went on the other side and tried to move it. I can't move it. I used the air hammer on it. That didn't make it budge. So gotta get it loose. I think I'm gonna move the jack. Well, I'm gonna put some bolts on the top, just put them through, just to hold the bogey arms, just in case, because I don't know if the two bolts underneath on the bottom can support all that weight. I'm afraid will come and it'll bend, and I'll be underneath there. It's not a good idea. So I'm gonna just put two bolts through the top holes just to hold it there. And then I'm going to get the jack out of the way, and I'm going to really have to work on getting that bolt. Worst case is, I guess I will just cut it out. I don't know. It's not in a good spot. I guess I could drill a hole all the way through it. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to get to work and figure out how to get that thing out of there. Success. I got it out. I tried turning it. It wouldn't turn. Look at this thing. Looks like it was all rusted on there. So I was going to drill it out. So I was like, all right, let me make a center punch on it. So you can see where I started hitting. I took the air hammer. Took the air hammer and put it on here and really laid on it, and I freaking pushed the heck out of it. Burp, and it went through. So you can see this is a washer. That looks like it's part of it now. It's a separate washer. It's permanently on there. Now, I have two bolts in there. I got this one and this one. They have to come back out, but anyway. You can see how close the arm. It probably won't hit, but I'm going to put a washer on the other side, just in case. This should be enough. Once I put the washer on the other side, it will definitely clear. I'm going to do the same on the other one. So I'm going to do one washer on the other frame side on the bolt. So it's going to be washer, bolt goes through it, and then nothing on the bracket. So the bracket will be put on, and the bolt will be right on top of here. I mean, if I could fit a washer, I'll do it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. Alright, now, I just got to take that. Oh, actually, I need to finish. Now that I got the bolt out, I can clean that area. I can clean this area. Now I got the bolt out, and I think what's going to happen is on the other side, it hit over here. See how close that hole is to this bracket? The other airbag bracket, the rear one, hit this and had to notch it out. So I think it's going to hit this one too. We'll see when I put it on. If you look there, it doesn't line up. If I stick something in there, look at this side. Let's go up a little bit more. It doesn't line up. I don't know if you can see the hole, because it's hitting that brake bracket right there. So I need to chop some of this off right here. So I'm gonna go take it inside and chop a little bit off. Okay, look at this. Safety goggles. I'm simply just going to take this grinding wheel and I'm just going to cut here and then cut here and take out a chunk. And after I take out the chunk, I will paint it so it won't rust, and I'll put it in. That should make room for the that bracket. All right, well, I chopped off I think a lot more than I needed to, and I didn't really make a straight line, but I think it'll fit. If not, I can always grind here more, but I think this is going to be enough. Let's go see if it fits. Oh yeah, there's going to be plenty of room. See, that hole doesn't line up, but look how much room I have over here. If I move it over, it'll line up fine. Alright, so I'm going to put some bolts in here and put the nuts on this side and get on our way. Alright, here we are at the motorhome again. So I want to show you these bolts here. There you go. So I wound up not using any washers at all on these tops. That's how much bolt still sticks out. And this is the other side. No washers. No washer on this one, lower one. And then I believe there's one washer on this one. This is the one that doesn't have the most thread sticking out. Let me show you when I ground it down. See a space there? I ground down a little bit too much. Can't do anything about it now. Can't add any, but I went for the approach of just chopping it instead of slowly grinding it. I should have just slowly grinded it, but it's on there. This is really thick. This is some thick metal. I don't know what thickness this is, but I think it'll be fine. I mean, this doesn't move. Now I need to put some airbags. Airbags here, so there'll be an airbag here, and then I need to get the front bracket, mount the airbag to it, and there'll be an airbag here, and then I have to get the jack and lift this up, you'll see, to get these arms up. Anyway, I'll show you. Okay, so in the instructions it says get this Pneumatic stuff, pneumatic hydraulic sealant. This is a 1.2 fluid ounce, 54540, and in the instructions it says it's expensive, and yeah, it was expensive. I think this was like $27. I bought it. I guess it works pretty good. I did the other side. There's no leaks, so I'm gonna put it on the airbags on these fittings. So the way you assemble these are, you have this adapter, goes in the airbag, get in there. Then you put this 90 on here. I'm not gonna put anything on the 90. It already has this thread sealant on there, so I'm not going to put anything additional. And then you just want this to be sticking up. Now, which way is up? That depends, right? But you want it to be up, so that will help when you put these in when you mount these in the brackets. You'll have this sitting like this, and it's up, and your hoses can come up in there. So that's why they want them mounted up like that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put the sealant on there. So it's like purple kind of sealant. And all I do is, it says don't do it at the beginning of the threads. So I'm just going to take it and put one there, spin it, put some over here. That should be good. And then here's the other airbag. I'm going to screw it on there. And I need the wrench. But you get the picture. Tighten that down. Tighten this down. Make it face up. And then I'm going to show you where you mount these suckers. So to mount the airbags, pretty much there's 2 holes right there. You just line these 2 holes up with there, and they give you these Allen head flared. Go in here, and it sits flush, and you screw them into the bag right there. Well, not here. The other side, you get it. This has a little. This is a size 5mm. So you want to make sure. So this thing sits like this inside the coach. This goes on the bogey pins, and this. So I want to make sure that this goes here, and it's facing up. So it's going to go like that. So let me bolt that up. This is going to bolt onto the rear bracket that's already on the coach. Those guys bolt here. You have this hardware here. This with a washer goes there, wherever the hole is, and that screws in there. Actually, like that. Airline comes in here. This gets connected to the arm. You'll see it. So I'm going to mount this on the airbags, and mount this airbag to here, the bracket, and then I'll take this whole assembly, put that to the bracket, and we're almost done. Alright, so I have this plate, bracket, whatever you call it, mounted onto the airbag. You'll notice that they're slightly different. There's a welded piece of something here, little bar, and this matters because it will locate the airbag when it's installed. Tighten these up with 9/16 wrench. So I don't know which one goes where, so I'm going to take this one and go see if this is the right one for the rear bracket. Let's go check it out. This one, if this is for the rear, let's see if it goes here. It would go like this. Yeah. Oh, good guess. So this piece goes here. This would go into there, and then the little bar, I guessed really well, little bar will rest on the outside of the arm. So this is the one that goes here. So the other one obviously goes on this side, same deal. That little bar will rest on the outside of this arm. It just helps locate the proper position of the bag. So I'm going to go get Allen keys. I can screw that in. I'm going to go assemble. I'm going to go assemble the other one inside the shop here because it's a lot cooler. It's a lot cooler inside here. When this gets put into the coach, this doesn't go. This is the wrong way. It goes like this. It goes like this in the coach. Okay. So now this will go there. This bar right here, you see it's on the outside. This will hit the arm. So that gets mounted just like that. All right. So this Allen, I thought it was a 5. I was wrong. 5 doesn't fit that well. It's a little bit too small. The real size is a 732. 732 fits in there a lot better. When I was tightening it, it slipped. I was like, what the heck? So that's the right size. So this one's assembled. The airbag on it. I'll go put it up there. I gotta get these big bolts. I gotta get the socket for that. 1.5 inches, I think, right? 1.5 inches. And this is gonna get torqued down to a lot. Just something on the, I'm looking at the instructions here. It says, so this is the inner rise. This is the side that's on the frame. It says use 2 washers. If I put 2 washers, this bolt would have never fit. So either they started giving different size bolts, or I don't know. I don't know why they gave me a bunch of washers. Look at all the washers I have left over. Because I didn't use really any of them because I couldn't. The bolt was too short. So I don't know if they shorten the bolt so you didn't need the washers, or what? I don't know what the deal is. Now I just have washers to put in my pile. Okay, so it says the 2 bogey nuts to 100 foot-pounds. That's these guys here. After they go on here, 100 foot-pounds. Alright, so I got the bracket on, the front bracket. I just put these bogey nuts on here, just hand tight, just to hold it. You need to take these 4 bolts, push them through, hold this for you, and you need this to be able to be loose so you can get the bolts in. Get the bolts in. So, I might need to bang it a little bit. 1, 2. Get the other 2 in, same deal, and tighten everything up. All right, doing the 100 foot-pounds. All right, so now we do the air distribution block. Okay, so what we have here is the air junction block, I guess you would call it. It's just a chunk of aluminum, a bunch of ports in it, and 2 holes here. This is how I'm going to mount it, with these 2 little holes. They give you, in the kit, they give you 6 valves. So I put them right there. It comes in a bag like this, and it also has different handles, I guess, if you want to put different handles on it. This one probably will be too big and will get in the way. I don't know about this one, but this little half handle, this seems to work pretty good. So I'm going to, and then so what you do is take this, put that in there, and then you take one of these adapter, and then this is where your air line goes in. You screw that in. I'm not going to put anything on here again because it already has some kind of sealer on it, that red stuff. Put it on there, tighten that on. First thing I'm going to do is get these onto the block. It also comes with 2 gauges. You can put it right like that. If you want, you can put it on the end, I guess. Wherever you want it, however you want to set this up. This is how I'm setting mine up. This is and from the instructions and pictures I saw online, this is the same way everybody does it. But I bought this separately. It was suggested in the instructions. So you can make this, it's a little 45. You put that there, you screw this in, and this way your air gauge is on the side. Hopefully you'll be able to see it a little bit better, because your T-skirt is going to come right here. It's going to cover this. So if you had this straight out, I don't think it might be hard to see the air pressure. I don't know. So I just have to put some of this on the threads of these and screw them in. I'm going to make them all face out like this. Make them all face out like this so you can turn them. And what will happen is, I'll show you when I assemble it. This one will go to your left. This will go to your right airbag. This will be the feed coming from your compressor inside the coach. This is the pressure gauge, and there's one on the end here, which is this here, which is a straighter valve. So you can go with the straighter valve, fill this up, disconnect this here, and you'll separate your system from the rest of the coach. So all you'll be doing is just messing with the airbags. And if you have one of these is leaked, you could turn it and isolate one of the airbags. Anyway, let me go put all this together, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Alright, here you go. It's all assembled. The only thing I want to warn you, this block is aluminum, and you're screwing metal pieces into it. So don't over tighten it. Just make it snug. And I didn't put permanently mounted gauge yet, because I need to put a screw through here. And if I if I mount the gauge, it's in the way. So the gauge is gonna be the last thing I put on here. But there you go. Everything's sealed up and put on there. I'm going to take this, go put it on the bracket, mount where these holes have to be drilled. I'm going to drill holes in the bracket and tap them, and then get a screw and screw these on, and so this thing will be supported. Then I just have to run the lines. They give you, there was more than this, but they give you a bunch of vacuum line so you can plumb this. So that'll be the last thing. So here you go. I have the everything there. Put it just like this. And then the air lines will come. So you go from here to the left one. This one goes to the right one. This goes to the source. It's up over here. You have your Schrader valve and then your gauge. You should be able to, the T-skirt will be here. I should be able to see the gauge. Alright, so here, this screw here will fit through the hole. It is a 10, number 10 screw. Has an Allen key head on it. It's stainless steel. And it's 24. The thread pitch is 24. That doesn't really matter though. So I'm going to put that in there. It's going to go through, go on the bracket. I'm going to try to tap and tap it. I'm also, once it's through there, I'm going to put, this is a lock nut. Put the lock nut on the other side. So vibrations or whatever, this won't vibrate out of the bracket. So I have to go drill a hole. I have the tap here. And on this tap, this is a Craftsman set, this tap set. It says use drill number 25. I don't have that drill number, so I took the bolt and matched it up to whatever size drill bit I think is the right size. You know, the same size. 532 is what this is. I don't know if this is the right size. I might have to go the next size higher. If I do, I'll just grab the next one up. Alright, I drilled and tapped one hole right here. Push it against here. Make sure it looks straight. I'm actually going to take the drill, put it through here, just make a little spot there so I know where my next hole needs to be exactly. So right there. So now I'm going to take the drill and just drill this hole right here. Alright. Spray some WD. I wish it was over a little bit more to the right, but oh, that's what it is. Now I'm just going to tap this hole right here. Dad. So I tapped this hole. 532 drill bit worked just fine with the 10 by 24 tap and a screw. All right, so now let's put this on here. I'm going to screw this in. Okay, so the holes don't line up. It's like a hair off. Alright, so these two holes were a little bit off for here. So what I did was I took a 1364 drill bit and I made this hole a little bit bigger. Taking these screws in and out, trying to force it, it bent the screws. So it's a pain in the neck now. But I think now that I drill these out a little bit, yeah, see the screws go right in. And there's a little bit of play. Let's see if it fits on here better. Seems like it does. Yeah, I think it's a lot better. Alright, so I'm going to screw these on. And I got the nut I'm gonna put it on the back side. Alright, so here's the feed line. I don't know what the heck is going on at the end here. I think there's a little smush coupling thing right there. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it right there, and I'll make sure it's clean. It looks pretty good. I don't know if I can take this piece off. And then I'm gonna put this union right here, and then a new hose will go from here to here, and then hose from there to there. Anyway, let me do this and I'll show you. Alright, so I'm going to cut this flat. There. So I'm just using a straight edge just to cut it. You don't want to crimp it, you don't want to cut it with pliers or anything, because you'll make a weird end on the side there. So I cleaned it up. There's some pieces in here. There's a little bushing in here, and then you have your nut. So you put the nut on first, the bushing on, and this piece has a piece of metal coming out. That's so it doesn't get crushed. Stick that in the hole, put that all the way in, then you just tighten this. Get your pliers. 7/16 and 9/16. You just tighten that guy. Yeah, see, if you cut it with diagonal cutters, this happens. You don't want that end on there. You want a straight end on it. It seals by crushing the tube. By crushing this on the tube. And you get your seal that way. So I don't think the threads need to be sealed. Put this on the left side. I might bend this a little bit to push it that way more, but then I want to give it a little slack. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to cut it. Let's make a mark. Right here. This off, through here. That. You just tighten these guys. Okay, so I need to connect to from here, the feed, to here. There's all the hose I've left. So this much is not enough. So that black hose that I had was too short. I have some of this blue hose laying around. The only problem is it's more flimsy than this. So I don't know how much pressure it's supposed to hold. I'll probably wind up replacing it again, but I don't have any extra hose. I need to find out what this is. It's 1/4 inch. Oh, it says air brake. This is 1/4 inch too, but I don't think it's made for air brakes. So I need to get another couple of inches of this hose. Maybe I could have, whatever. The next thing we need to do is, this is what holds the bottom of the T-skirt on. And you remember I broke this bolt, so I'm gonna have to take this bolt out when I'm gonna put it on the bench and get that bolt out. It's rusted in there. But so this would go here, and you can see it doesn't go there now. It won't fit. So what we need to do is cut. We need to cut this out, like from here, definitely this rubber, and then we have to cut some of this metal out because it'll hit here. It won't reach all the way to the bolt. So I'm gonna cut right above this, like this. I'm going to cut it like that, Maybe I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to cut it with this bandsaw. It's a pretty cool setup. You get a corded bandsaw. This is a Milwaukee something or other. I'll put a link. And then you get this table from Swag. You see it? Swag. And I'll put a link for this thing too. And I really need to do something better than this to turn on. There's a trigger. So this is a bandsaw, comes right off. And there's Velcro holding the trigger on. So as soon as you plug this in, it turns on. I need to have something else where I can interrupt it and have a switch. Haven't done that yet. But anyway, so you turn this on, and then I'm just going to cut it. Alright, let's go see if it fits. Okay, so it fits in there. It just doesn't reach back there to that hole. So I need to cut more off here. Maybe on the other side of the nub is where I need to go. Alright, there we go. Got it to fit. What I did was, this started going at an angle right there. I just cut it right from there. So straight across and then down. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to clean all this up here, all this rust and dirt and everything. Give it a paint job. And it'll look as good as everything else. Okay, the last thing to do is check for leaks on this thing. So, I'm going to close this, going off to the coach, and I'll put like 20 psi. Oh, I hear a leak. Okay, I already hear a leak. I'm gonna go get soap and water and find out where it's coming from. So I'm just gonna, yeah, there's almost no air in it now. Now it's leaking right there. Let's see if anywhere else is leaking. So it looks like it's leaking from where this hose is going in. So I'm gonna tighten this. Oh, I barely even tightened this thing. I must have forgot to tighten it. Put some more PSI in this thing. Come on. Alright, 20 PSI. I'm going to spray this again because there's a leak in here. No more leak. I don't think I tightened it. That's probably what the problem was. Spray here. No, nothing there. Let's look on this side. Let me just... It might be leaking a little bit. Okay. And then these guys. Oh, actually, I don't know if this one's leaking because this is closed. Let's open this. And then. Nope, no leaks. I'm going to close it off from the coach. And we're going to see. I'll come back tomorrow and see if I still have 20 pounds in there. Okay, well, that's it for the install of the Quadrabag system. After doing it, it took me a little while the first side. The second side wasn't as bad. The driver's side is easier because you don't have the exhaust pipe in the way. But if you have rusted bolts in there, it's going to take a while. That was the hardest part, is the rusted bolts and getting the old stuff off. Putting new stuff in, it was a little challenging. Like these upper bolts here, those were challenging to get in just because you don't have much room. And you're I'm on the ground doing it and trying to get the bolt and pushing the bolt to the other side, trying to get the nut on. It's just a big pain. But I don't know if I would want to do another one. It's kind of a pain in the neck. I'm not sure if I would go through the hassle of doing it again. I like the way it looks. I like the kit. The kit is really good. Has everything you need. Maybe a little bit longer hose. Maybe I used too much in some spots. I don't know. But the hose came up a little bit short. Besides that, it was kind of, it was fairly simple. The only thing that I would have to say is that I don't like is when you saw me take this thing apart with this stock or with the airbag I have in there, even the stock airbag, all you do is just take these two nuts off on the airbag and the airline, and you take the whole airbag off and you're done. So like on a roadside blowout, if the airbag would go out, it seems fairly easy to do it on the side of the road or a parking lot or whatever. Just get a new airbag. If you had one with you, just carry it along with you, and you can just swap it in, and you'll be on your way. Here, yeah, you can get these airbags anywhere. Not a big deal, but to get the airbags off now, you have to take this off. Yes, you have to take off the line, but then you have all this. So you either got to take this, undo all these lines, or you can take the whole block off, I guess, and move it out of the way. I can't do that with the gauge because now I have to take the gauge off anyway. And to get the airbag off, you have to get to these Allen head bolts that are sandwiched in between here. So that means you need to take this front bracket off, and this is held in by 4 bolts that you have to bang in to get them on, to get them in. So you have to bang them to get them off. And on the side of the road, I don't think that's going to be too feasible. It seems like it's going to be more of a challenge. You have to bring a lot more tools to replace this system, one airbag on the side of the road. So I don't know. For that aspect, it might not be a good thing, but I like the system. I can't wait to try it out and drive it. I'm not going to take it for a ride anytime soon. I want to check the brakes. So while the wheels are off, I'm going to take take the drums off and see what the brakes look like, see if I have to redo the brakes. I might order some new brake lines because those are kind of dry rotted. So anyway, that's my take on the install. Alright, so I switched out that blue line for this line. I got a new hose from Amazon. Got a whole, how many feet, whatever, 30 feet or something. So I have plenty. And that's going to do it. Alright, so I switched this line out the other day. I got rid of that blue flimsy line, got this one. I'm probably going to zip tie these, maybe. I don't know, I have to see. But it dropped down to, when I took off this line, some air got out, and it was right below. I think it's in the same spot. So I don't think there's any more leaks. So that's good. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any comments, go ahead and put comments down in the description below, and I will answer them, and I appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you on the next video.